Hello, my name's Shona, and on this video, I am going to teach you how to create a really fun lead magnet for your coaching business so that you get as many people to take part in this lead magnet as possible and lead them onto a conversation with you or perhaps a booked call. Now, this is going to be really simple and really easy to set up. So if you are someone who is not super techie, then don't worry because we are going to use things that are easy to use and that you actually probably are already using in your coaching business right now. We're going to use Canva, we're going to use Google Forms, and we're going to use ChatGPT. And do you know what? All of those are free unless you're paying for Canva, and you probably are already paying for Canva because it's a no-brainer in any coaching business. But those other two, completely free. And this is a really effective lead magnet. And what we're going to do is create a quiz. Now, the reason we're creating a quiz is because probably your ideal client, your audience, people out there has seen every single version of lead magnet going. Generally, we want our lead magnets to deliver a quick win and be really full of value, but there is so much out there, and people are now kind of wise to the fact that when they download a lead magnet, they're probably not going to get very much, and you're probably just harvesting their data or trying to get their email address or trying to get some sort of like payment out of them. But what we're going to do is create a quiz, right? And we're going to make a fun, interactive BuzzFeed style quiz that people are going to want to do because it's fun. Do you know what? Like they're probably scrolling on their laptop, they're like, waste or on scrolling on their phone, wasting time at work. And oh, look, there's this coach that I follow that I'm slightly intrigued in. They've got a quiz that's going to tell me something about myself and make me laugh, entertain me, and I want to take part in that. So that's what we're going to create on this video. Let's get fired in. We're going to do it together, right? So, as I said, all you need is ChatGPT, Canva, and Google Forms. So I'm going to use an example here. Now imagine you are a High Rocks coach, right? So this is just on the top of my head because at the weekend I took part in a High Rocks type event, and I know that High Rocks is super popular and there are a lot of High Rocks coaches out there. So I'm going to type into ChatGPT my client. Now, the reason I'm typing in my client rather than me, because I have trained my ChatGPT to know everything about me. So I'm not going to mess it up now and tell it that I'm a High Rocks coach. So my client is a High Rocks coach, and they mostly work with young women in their 20s who are driven, love competing, hold themselves to a high standard and like to push themselves and love high rocks. They might have taken part in one or really intrigued in high rocks and signing up for the next one. Right, so you can see that I'm being really specific about the ideal client here. So this is what we want, right? So give it a little bit of context, tell it about like the sort of person that it is that you work with. Then we're gonna tell it what we want, right? So my client, so obviously you're not going to say my client, you're going to say me when you've put this into ChatGPT, wants to create a fun, interactive quiz that will tell the person what sort of high rocks competitor they are, right? It will highlight some aspect problem they are having and lead them to a solution with a quick win, right? So what we're going to do is basically tell them like what sort of person they are, right? ChatGPT is going to be ChatGPT is really good at creating this, right? So we're going to ask for a BuzzFeed style quiz, right? So we are going to tell them what type of person they are, and once they know that, we're also going to direct them to like pointing out a problem that they have right now, maybe a symptom that they're having, and point them towards a solution, give them a quick win in terms of value, and then also lead them on to like having a conversation and a call with you because you're highlighting like what you know about this, about High Rocks, you're highlighting a lot of your coaching knowledge, and you're also like pointing out like some of the problems that people might have with their particular strategy that they're having right now. So my clients want to create a fun, interactive BuzzFeed style quiz that will tell the person what sort of high-risk competitor they are. They will highlight some aspect, problem they're having, and lead them to a solution with a quick win. And then on to a free consultation call with my client, right? Okay. So let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. Okay, here's a quick quiz concept. Right. What type of High Rocks competitor are you? Find your race day alter ego, uncover your biggest High Rocks block, get a game-changing fix to level up fast. So, possible results type, a mix of personality and challenge. So, the fire starter, you're all in always. You sign up fast, go hard in training, want a podium finish. The challenge is you burn out or overtraining. The strategist, you plan your splits, analyze your WODs, want every rep to be efficient. Challenge overthinking, getting stuck in prep mode. The wild card, you're newer to the game but love the adrenaline. High Rocks has you hooked. Challenge, inconsistent training or unsure where to start. The machine, you're disciplined, you're consistent and strong, but something's missing. The challenge, your plateaued performance or low motivation. So you can see with all of these that if you were working with a client and these were like the five main problems that they have, like that you talk about in your content, you could even be even more specific. You could say, when you're creating this quiz, these are the five main problems that my clients tend to deal with. I want this quiz to like point out the problem that they are having, right? So you could be even more specific with this. Right, so then this is sample quiz questions. So, what gets you fired up most about High Rocks? Bashing my PBs, nailing transitions and pacing, the adrenaline and energy of race day, seeing my consistent training paying off, and challenging myself to even show up, right? So, look at all of that. It's just a fun, it's as you can see, it's using like it's using colloquial language that young people are using. I sound really old when I say that, but what's your biggest gym ick? These are great, right? So then what you want to do is go over onto Google Forms, okay? So we want to set this up into sections so that when people land on their quiz, they are on your quiz, they are taken to like an introduction, right? So, what type of High Rocks are you? Right. And then you put a little description in here, say like just introducing it. Let's maybe ask ChatGPT to write that for us. Can you give me a short, fun intro for the quiz? Right, let's see. Whether you're chasing the podium or just trying to survive the sled push without swearing out loud, this quiz will reveal your inner High Rocks alter ego, find out your unique strength, biggest block, and a quick win to level up before your next race. Cool, right. So let's stick that in the form description. And then we just want to like get rid of this and then add section, right? So what will happen is they'll land on the page. You can even set it up so that they give your email address. So a form default, just go to responder input. Yeah. So just put that there, right? So now it'll collect their email address and you've got that now. So it's great lead generation, as you can see already. So then it's going to go to section 2 and we are going to pop all our questions in here. So here's the 5 questions that it's given you. So what you want to do now is obviously do that, but I'm not going to do that right now for you. What I'm going to do though is you're going to have a sixth question. So finally, and then you go to the type of question it is. Oh, wait, that's not right. Want to add a question. There we go. So this is like imagine this is like your questions. Okay, question time. You've got question one, two, three, four, or five, and then you're gonna have question six. Finally, maybe a little bit of blurb about that. Um, what did you get the most of, right? So mostly A's, mostly B's, mostly C's, mostly D's, mostly E's, right? Okay, so then what you're going to do is uh, go to section based on answer. Okay, so you're going to create five different sections now. So if you go to, nope, that's not the right thing. Let me just delete that. Right, so you're going to add a section. So you are then going to go back to ChatGPT and ask it, can, I think it has kind of already done that. Possible results. Like, can you flesh out these result types and provide value? Now, obviously, you can rewrite these sections, but it's just really good for creating this really quickly. With each result type, make it fun and interesting to read. Right, so for each one, it's given you a insight, key challenge, juicy quick win, and natural next step. So say they are the fire starter, right? So that's what type of person they are. So they got mostly B's, right? So congratulations, you are a fire starter. You're not a firestorm, you're a fire starter. Add in a little fire emoji. And then you're going to put in the description information for them, right? So blah, blah, blah. Your high rocks block, you're always on. That's your superpower until it's not. If you don't program rest and recovery as intentionally as your sled push sets, you risk burning out before you hit your peak. And I probably wouldn't call this a quick win. I'd say tips for you if you're a fire starter. Right, schedule a deload week, da 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 da. Right, okay, and then in bold at the bottom, uh, click, hit next to uh, find out next steps. Right, so you're going to add that to the bottom of every single section, right? So you're going to make four more sections. So obviously what will happen is say they got mostly B's, they're going to hit B and it's going to take them to the appropriate section, okay? And then you're going to make another section, right? Here it is. So this is like after you've made all the different options, because what they've done is they've read that, been like, cool, I'm a fire starter, hit next to find out your next steps. Then you're going to give them something super high value in your turn. And now this can be an audit. This can like an audit of their training plan. Like it could be a voice note over Instagram. I really personally love to get people on some sort of call. And this call, what we want to do is make this call sound really full of value, right? So instead of saying book your free discovery call to talk about my coaching, which no one's going to book, if we position it as come and join me for a 20-minute high rock strategy session where I dive into what it is you're doing right now and we can identify some of the roadblocks that are holding you back from your goals of crossing the finish line first or crossing it in sub-hour time or something like that. So I'm going to go back to ChatGPT because this is another really great thing that you can do. So I want this quiz to lead to a free strat High Rocks strategy session for um leads. Can you make this sound super value packed, um, no-brainer for people to sign up to? Cool. So, right, there it is. You know what kind of High Rocks competitor you are. Now let's turn that insight into impact. Book your free High Rocks strategy session, a 30-minute deep dive with a coach who gets your competitive fire, your goals, your training blocks. In this session, you'll get personalized breakdown of your current strengths and blind spots. Walk away with a clear next step training focus on your result. Discover how to build high rock specific power, endurance, and pacing. Finally, get answers to your questions from someone who's coached dozens of women to raise their confidence. Right. So then I would copy paste this. Let's see, spots are limited because of not a sales call in disguise. Love that. Thanks, ChatGPT. So then I would add that to book your free what do we call it? High rock strategy session, but you can call it whatever you want. High rock strategy session. Um, So there we go. I've added that in there. Now that sounds super sexy. You could add a link if you've got One's Hub or you've got what's the other one? Calendly or something like that. You could put the link to that there. Or what you could do is put the link to your Instagram so that they jump back and message you on Instagram, or you could put their Instagram handle and you could put a box there. So that is how you create this quiz. Okay. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a Canva post to market it. So once you've done this quiz, you're going to send it out via email. If you've got emails, you're going to send it out to everyone on your Instagram stories. You're going to put a post on about it. So obviously, you're just going to talk about it everywhere, get as many people to take part in this fun quiz. So I have done one recently. What's your posting personality? So what I did here was I used the Instagram story function to create this little like a little poll, and I just put like the different options for my quiz. So you could do that exactly here. So you've got your high rocks. So you just put the strategist, the fire starter, the wild card, the machine, and all of these sound like really kind of sexy. Like I want to be all of those things. And that's the idea behind this quiz is you do want all the options to sound quite sexy. Like you don't want them to sound like something rubbish. You want them to sound like something that they want to be. So that's going to get people involved in the quiz. So something like, what's your high rocks? High rocks personality, or what type of high rocks athlete are you? What do we call the quiz? What type of high rocks competitor are you? Right. So what type of high rocks competitor are you? Right, so we just need to make that a little bit smaller, maybe. Uh, there we go. Just replace the words that you've got here. And obviously, if you're a High Rocks kind of person, we might go to type this in High Rocks, see what comes up. Why does it come up with these animals? What the hell? Oh, we just type in fitness. Right, so we want like, I don't know, someone running, maybe that looks a bit naff, but like that's cool. What other things do people do? They like, oh, is this what if there's a ski erg? No. Oh, balaclava. Rowing machine. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Stick that there, and then maybe like a wall ball. Wise. Canva not loving me in my thingies right now. Let me just type in gym, see if something comes up. I suppose you do use kettlebells. What about kettlebell? Because there is that farmer's carry, isn't it? I've not done high rocks yet. There we go. Right. So what type of high rocks competitor are you? Boom, boom, boom. DM me quiz to find out. There you go. So, in the space of, I don't know how long it took, 20 minutes, we have just created a whole lead magnet freebie for you and your business. Now, go and create this, get as many leads as possible, get those calls booked. And then, obviously, on those calls, what we're talking about, we're giving them tons of value and giving them loads of insight into what it is that they need to change in order to like, achieve the result that they want to achieve. And then you are going to lead them to your coaching services. So I hope you enjoyed that. And subscribe to the channel, of course, because I'm putting this up on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and expect lots more like this in the future.